All right. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what it is. Eagles Wear Boxing. Let's check it out, y'all. Check it out. Eagles back. Let's talk about it a little bit. I'll wait for y'all to get in here, man. I'm enjoying some highlights. Y'all can't see it, right? But I'm enjoying some highlights right here, so let y'all listen to it. Oh, shoot. They showed that big shot. Boom. It was a left hand, but it wasn't. Yep. The left hand was too much. Boy, enjoying a lot of knockouts. A lot of knockouts.
You are fighting for the WBA lightweight championship of the world. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times.
Just want to hear some of what those punches sound like. So you always say these little guys was throwing some hands. Not the big left. Oh, yeah. Gervonta Tank Davis. It's short punches. He got a little bit wild at one point. Oh, right. We in here. We can talk about this boxing. That's what we do. Yeah, so. Yeah. We would just ignore that for a second. Get into the topics that I need to talk about. I had to search to find out what happened with Peterson because I didn't get a chance to see it. So maybe you guys got to, catch the highlights or whatever. So I believe that Anthony won, and I think the Lamont came back and got disappointed, so he has to go back into retirement again. So shout out to the brother though, because Anthony is pretty good. He's just too good for anybody who's up and coming that's going to challenge him. Nobody's going to challenge him, or he's not going to get fights. I don't know what happened. But to listen to the way that he explained it, the way he explained it is the reason he's not getting the fights, or he won't get the fights, is because he more or less said that he's not as marketable. You know what I mean? He's just not that marketable because he's too clean. He don't have no drama. He don't drink. He don't smoke. He don't go out and stuff like that. So I really just don't. What can I say? Let me see. I got a job offer for the end of the month. I don't know if I'm doing nothing, so we'll see. Just came in right now, so. Job offer. Got a little job offer, so we'll see. Maybe I'll take it if I got time. Lala D, I see you out there. She said, Cynthia, I saw you. Yeah, I had to go post up on your videos a little bit. I had to put my little words, like you put your 2 cents in, so I put my 3 cents in on your video. Lala D gave me the hugs. I mean the heart. I don't know. I want a hug though. I want my hug, girl. She said, Chicago, we say, what's the word? We say, what you on? I'm on everything right here. Look who came in here. I ain't seen in a while. Salute to Gil Cole. What's up, brother? Missed you, man. You think you all that though? You like Lala D. Lala D putting stuff up like she's the greatest in new media information now. She be cracking me up. See, I ain't really trying to analyze or whatever. Yeah, you do. But I'll tell you the truth. You actually do a good job, Lala. I'll laugh at you. But you actually do a good job, to be honest. You actually do a good job at, your commentary or your remarks. So don't think that your remarks are not good remarks, because when you put your remarks up, they're pretty good remarks. A lot of people aren't understanding a lot. Okay, you said you've been busy. Yeah, a lot of people aren't understanding that that the science is different. I don't know who did this, but go back and look at what Anthony. Just look at Anthony Peterson. Look at his interview. I think it's his latest interview that I called a lot of it, and he made a lot of sense, because what he's saying is that most of the top tier guys, what happens with the top tier guys, and he might have made one mistake when he said, because he said the Boots may not have to be one of those guys that move, that go to Florida, Texas, Colorado, Vegas, or California. But what he's saying is the East Coast got good boxers, but what's happening is the East Coast boxers are getting left behind because of the training that these guys are getting the new wave training that these guys are getting, and I think that that's very important. What I feel about it is that the East Coast guys are really good, but to take them over the top, I think they do need a little bit of new wave training along with the old school. The old school, just all old school can't keep up, because the whole thing is with this boxing is we have to evolve when it comes to boxing. You have to evolve. I got a lot of mental things that I think about. I say, oh yeah, I should come up with this machine. And I got like a lot of good ideas. I haven't seen them out there yet. But once the technology is there, where I can make it an easier application, I do want to come up. I do want to put together a few things that will help boxers out. But I'm actually waiting for the technology to get where I need it to go. I can't elaborate on it, but you'll love it if you've seen it. Yeah. Lala D put in the old school. She said, "What's the word?" Hey, that's old right there. What's the word? What's the word on it? We just say, "What's the word on it?" What's the word on it and stuff like that. Or what we should, it depends, because a lot of sayings. What happened with sayings? It depends on who the coolest person in the neighborhood was or the community. That's how all the sayings get to going. Is there one person to say something? Oh, I like that, and then somebody else will say it. A lot of the language that they use today is kind of crazy. They think that cap is something new. I'm like, cap is not new. Cap is way not new. Bling was never new. Even when they started using it in hip hop, it was never new. It was way old. It was like that was language from the late 1800s. It went along with stuff like baubles. That's what bling went along with, like blings and baubles. That's the type of stuff when you laced up, when you got your diamonds and stuff like that on. Asante, man, they were pissed at me today in Champside chat. I was praising and defending Gary Russell Jr. Yeah, I went. As you see, Lala, I did go to your page and I did comment a little bit. I said, look, he got a fan now. I said, look at Lala D. I know you like to start trouble, which is cool. Because I don't know if you mean it or not. If you do mean it, that's your business. You know what I mean? If it's your business, if you mean what you say about that, that's your business. Forget the rest of them. They can say whatever they want to. They can get mad at you if you want. I never get mad. All I do, when I went to see what you said, all I did is start laughing. I said, look at Lala D. She praising the new Gary Russell media now. So Gary Russell Jr. he's new media now. He talking about Shorty. Shorty, you ain't doing. If that's what you're doing, man, you getting hit with too many. You getting hit with shots you shouldn't get hit with and all that. Gary Russell, he was running his mouth though. But Gary Russell Jr., I think you need to be quiet a little bit. In my estimation, he need to calm down a little bit because he lost. Okay. So once you start losing, you need what could you have done better? And I know you're gonna stick behind him and feel like he won the fight, but he lost. Simple as that. You got to win. It doesn't matter, when it comes to the judges. Hey, who let it go to the judges, or who let it go to the judges to where it was gonna be judged against you? That's the point. So if you let it go to the judges to where it was gonna go against you, then that's you. You know what I mean? That's you. You shouldn't have fell behind. You shouldn't have made it look. You shouldn't have let rounds look close. You should have just went out there and did what you had to do. You should have went out there and dominated. But that's not what you did. You went out there and made it look close and sloppy and everything else. Judges didn't know what to do. I don't know who got that round. I'm gonna give it to him. And a lot of times, believe me, the judges do the best they can, but a lot of times they don't even know who won the round. And so they just go A, B, they just go back and forth. 1, 2. You are not, they do some bullshit where they just go back and forth and say, okay, I'm going to give him that. I'm going to give him this one. Next one is closer. I don't know. I'm going to give it to him. That's what they do. Don't think that they're something special. They're people. Don't think that just because they're judges, they're very special and prestige. They're in some kind of kingdom of judges or something. We judge. They got the crowns on. No, it's not that type. They give them a certain protocol of what they got to judge off of. Now, I can almost guarantee that when we did that 21-point breakdown of what fighters have, that's just 21. A lot of them, they don't even have that many points of what they judge by. But if we did that, if you guys paid attention to what we was talking about, because that wasn't just my idea, my concept, that you guys had a lot to do with it. If we follow those points, you would realize that if you did that you could actually be a judge. Shit, if you just knew those points right now, you can go in and train and probably be a judge yourself. Yep, my favorite slang is still out of NYC, mostly from that 5% nation. Oh, yeah. I don't know, because it goes back and forth. I'll tell you what happens. What happens is the slang on the West Coast in Midwest. So Midwest slang moves faster because of the location, I think. Yeah, I know Midwest. I know some of the old school slang in Midwest too. And the Southern slang moves kind of fast too. West Coast and East Coast, it takes a while for West Coast slang to get over to the East and for the East to get over to the West. Now, it did. It doesn't anymore. Not anymore. It doesn't take as long anymore, is because we have the new media now. So we sound kind of the same now. You understand? Yeah. What does losing have to do with anything? A real boxing fan doesn't think a boxer can't speak his mind because of a loss. Come on now. I don't care. I don't care. I'm just talking, just like you know how you talk and you say things. I'm saying things too. I'm telling him to shut his ass up, because I didn't say you can't have an opinion, but how you gonna tell somebody they shouldn't get hit with stuff if your ass just lost? You should have told yourself not to get hit with certain stuff. Even if Gil is agreeing with you 100%. I'm just saying. I mean, I can voice my opinion too, right? But if you sitting there losing and you telling somebody how to win, or what you need to get hit with, or what you don't need to get hit with, well, you should have gave yourself that advice. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he can't speak. I'm just jumping on him too. It's my job. See, my job is this new media shit. This is my job. That's not his job. He can make it his job, but shut your ass up. Not you, but shut your ass up, because you should have took your own advice. A lot of these Gilco's laughing now. See, I try not to give Asante a hard time. You say you try not to give me a hard time, but you can give me a hard time though. I love it. You guys can give me a hard time because this is your forum also. This is a discussion type of chat. This ain't no. I don't run the show in here to where I just run shit like I'm unmodding my mods and shit. How many times have you seen me? How many mods do I have that come in here like after like 2 months? 2 months and 3 months. Like, a lot of people won't even put up with that. They like, nah, they gonna unmod. Some of them just come in just to check and see if they still mods. I don't do nothing about that. You know what I mean? I don't do nothing at all. But I need my thumbs up when y'all come in. I appreciate that. Give me my thumbs up. And stop starting trouble with me all the time, Lala D. Yeah, so just go back and just listen to what a lot of the stuff that Anthony Peterson, the Peterson's been through a lot, man. That is a boxing family right there. And I appreciate those brothers that have had to go through the lifestyle that they had to go through to make it to where they made it. And just listen to what he was saying. He makes a lot of sense. He was saying that a lot of times a fighter can be like physically like ready, like able, like us. He could feel like us, like, oh, I feel physically good. But he's not really, mentally and physically ready to fight. And that makes a lot of sense. Because he was saying that even he felt that J-Rock shouldn't have came back. And fought just when he did. He wasn't really ready to come back and fight. Or when he suffered that loss. Same thing with Harrison. He said he wasn't ready. He said he even feels that Harrison is a better boxer than both the Charlos. But it's just that he wasn't boxing ready when he came back. And when you fight those Charlos, like I said, you got to be you have to be ready to fight them. You can't be in normal shape like we are. You can't just be breathing, like, oh, I'm breathing, I'm good. Okay, I feel good. I no soreness. You can't be like this. Oh, I don't feel sore. I can bend over and touch my toes. You know what I mean? That's right. Oh, you hit the thumbs up. Yeah, you better hit my thumbs up, Lala D. And you can give me and I appreciate your hard time. Don't worry about that. I know I even put the notification up and I still would end up getting caught up in traffic. I was actually downtown and I was looking, I was downtown in the city. And I was like looking at this creek. I was kind of fixated on it. I was like, what the hell? Because the creek, they have a bike path down there, right? Like made, cement, like or whatever asphalt. I think maybe asphalt. But they got a bike trail down there, path, like a nice one. And the water was actually running up over it. And this is a creek, so-called creek. And this water is like rushing. I said, somebody falls in there, they ain't no getting out of that. I said, wow. So right now we're not the ones. My area is not the ones that's supposed to be suffering from floods. But then again, you can't tell the earth nothing. You can't say, well, what you doing, earth? The what do you call it? the weatherman said that they were supposed to flood, not us. No, so everything's just flooding over here. I got where I live at, the draining system, is real good. There's a few areas where they put the little flood signs out at, but that's going towards the highway or whatever. But where I live at, the drain system is real good. I mean, the water goes down and that's it. It's out of here. It doesn't stay flooded for no time. The only time it backs up is if during the fall, if nobody like flushes it out and all the leaves plug it up. Yep. Look at Gil Cole. Yeah, thanks for the insult, Gil. Gil Cole said that Lala D. He's Eagles with him on his Skip Bayless. Hey, that's a good one, Gil. I can't do nothing but laugh at you on that one. That's a good one right there. The Skip Bayless. I ain't never been. Oh shit! I'm about to fall out the chair. That damn Gil Cole. Hey, so Gil, so what? So I'm on. How could anybody? You can't find somebody? You can't find somebody like a Skip Bayless. You cannot find anybody like that. Gil Cole stupid. Don't listen to it. You can't find nobody like a Skip Bayless. Come on now. If you're familiar with the Dave Chappelle show from like 10 years ago, whatever it was, 10, 15 years ago, if you was a fan and you know that they had like a little portion of the show that they did a bit, what did they call the player haters ball, or just players haters period. They didn't even have nobody on the player haters that was as bad as Skip. Skip is like, he's awful, man. I mean, he had Shannon Sharp losing his voice, man. He had him raising octaves in his voice. He was so mad because he was on Tom Brady. Skip was on Tom Brady's strap so heavy that he was inside of his strap. That's how heavy he was on his strap, and he was comparing them and saying that Shannon was jealous because of Tom Brady. How could you get jealous of these games and stuff, like people like that? A lot of this shit is scripted. It's scripted. Come on. If you think that even when it comes to boxing and all this, you watch these movies and stuff, and you'll see them, and they'll say stuff like, "Son, I'm gonna need you to lose this one." Even in Pulp Fiction, if you've seen Pulp Fiction, that wasn't none of that shit. None of that stuff none of that shit was fiction. They got everybody to believe, because of the name Pulp Fiction, didn't even sound like something like, okay, is this some kind of fictional movie? None of that stuff in that movie was fictional. They just get you with a title. Shit. I've seen some blatant, to be honest, I've seen some blatant dives in boxing. Like blatant, like really blatant, like dives in boxing before. So it's not like it doesn't happen. Oh, Gil Coles came all the way back to Eagles Web to hate. Skip to my hold on now, Skip. That's what he say, huh? He be like, hold on, Skip. Yeah, he be like, hold on, Skip. And Skip is a fool, man. But then again, you know what? I don't know. Um, See, Gil, we could play off of that, and we can say it's one way or another, right? We could say that. But to be honest, just be honest. We don't know if that's really true, though. Yeah, they could be playing us. Do you see what I mean? They could be playing the hell out of us. That could be a total act because it's all entertainment. And then when we stop and think, if you just stop and think, just stop and hold on just for a second. Just hold on for a second. And just think, how many outlets are there for sports? And you think about it, every city in the United States, every city, every country, not everyone will have it, but just think about that. Just the numbers. You got high school sports, right? You got television, you got local news, you got national news, right? You got independent news. Then you got cable news, right? So if you look at all this stuff, the competition today, and I would say it's such that a lot of times you have to do stuff to get people's attention because you got to realize that they're not new media. They're considered old media. So they're going to have to do a lot of things to keep up because everybody is like breaking their back to get people's attention on different forms. They really got to do like certain stuff. You know what I mean? Like for me to boost my channel, maybe I need 2 bikini models behind me, But that's just the way it is with the new because everybody wants to be noticed. Like, oh yeah, I got a million views, I got 1 million followers now, I got 2 million followers. I don't even know who the biggest is, but the biggest followers is not even for like Showtime and HBO and these and like the old media. It's not even for them. The biggest followings is for some shit that you wouldn't even follow. You like, what? Everybody's following that? It's like animals doing tricks and stuff like that. Okay, but let me get back to this though. So what you want to do is, like I say, just look at Anthony Peterson. Just look at one of his interviews and stuff, and just listen to what he talks about. So like I said, that these guys that box, they do need to change the way that they fight. They need other things added. We've always said that. Like some of the guys on the West Coast, they need some of the dirtier stuff. Like Deontay Wilder, he needs to come out. Maybe he needs to come out to the West Coast, or he needs to go to Texas. He needs to go somewhere else and train. You know what I mean? To pick up a few more things. It's always good to pick up stuff. Don't think that one person knows everything. There's no way that one person knows more than 10%. 10% probably. So you got to realize that your camp is only giving you like 10%. They got to look out. Oh, I got to look out. You got to look out. Just think about how much better, especially like somebody like a Devin Haney. Think about how much better would he be. But these people have had other exposures also, though. If you notice that a lot of times they will get exposed, they get exposure somewhere, and then they'll go back to their regular camp. You see what I mean? But you're going to have to do that. But I guess Lamont just didn't fare as well. I didn't see the fight, but he just didn't do as good. So just stay in retirement, brother. He came back. Tank put him on so he can come back and get some money. So he came back and got a little bit of bread. And that's good for Tank looking out for everybody. If I told you that's my new little nephew right there is Tank, man. That's my new little nephew right there. Because he's making a lot more sense than a lot of these other fighters are. And so shout out to him, for bringing Lamont Peterson out of retirement, even if he has to go back. But like I said, these guys are just a lot. Some of them are just mouthpieces. They're too much into the new media and stuff like that. But you can show us something, because we're gonna miss Tank. If Tank retires in the next year or two, we're gonna end up missing Tank, because the rest of these guys ain't doing a damn thing. And like I said about like Boots, and I told everybody, I said I didn't have the heavy endorsement on Boots like everybody. I know a lot of you guys had like the heavy endorsement on Boots. I said no, he really. I got to see more. And then soon as somebody can take the punishment, then you get delusional. And now somebody can get mad at me if you want to. I heard a lot of delusional stuff in the corner when it came to the Boots fights. I actually heard that Chuck had a hand was running. I'm like, come on now, dude. He's not running. Y'all wanted somebody that's going to just come straight forward right into your punches and so you can lay them out. And that shit didn't happen. And so you weren't prepared. You can get mad at me. So you can get mad at me if you want to, but I don't care. Get mad, because it doesn't do anything against my thought process if you get mad. But if you're saying somebody's running because your guy can't catch up with him, then that has to do with your training. That has to do with their abilities. It has to do with their abilities. It has nothing to do with the guy running. That guy did not run, and that guy clipped you a couple of times himself. And we made fun of the guy before. We called him, couldn't think of his name. We just called him Chuck Had a Hand. So Chuck Had a Hand was putting hands on you. He went the distance, and at some points, I mean, he had you swinging so hard that you almost took yourself out the ring. He's swinging for a home run. Why are you? And then afterwards, if you swinging home run punches, and then afterwards you talking about, oh, you was being patient and taking your time. No, you wasn't. No, you were not complete. You might have been being patient and taking your time at one point, because you had no choice but to take your time and be patient. Because your wild swings and a miss, that shit wasn't going. And this guy ended up being a lot better than what people thought he was. And yes, it wasn't. I mean, I agree. It wasn't like a close fight or nothing like that. But he had his moments, But if you tell us after the fight, yeah, you should have closed in, and you should have finished him up. You should have got the knockout and all that. Nobody wants to hear all that shit. That's like this. That's stink. All that's like, that's like this to me. Like, I don't want to hear it. I want to hear that you should have closed out. I mean, we could see that you should have closed out if you could have closed out. And most of the time, people close out when they can. Tank Davis didn't say that he didn't. He should have do a lot more to close it out. He was honest after the fight. He was saying that he was saying that Garcia was trying to set traps for him and trying to set him up. He said, I felt it. I felt that he was trying to set me up for shit. How come can't nobody be honest like that? Tank is being honest about it. Tank got the TKFO or KTFO, but you didn't. But Tank was being honest at the press conference, at the post press. He was saying things like, yeah, I had to be careful. He said, yeah, he was talking about his skin. Yeah, I'm light skinned. I'm going to bruise up easy if I sit up there and just take a whole lot of, firepower and punches. He said the guy was like, because the guy was sitting down. Hector Garcia was doing a good job because he was trading and landing. He was landing his own, but he's getting too comfortable, I think, with sitting in the pocket and trying to land his own. I see a lot of these say, yeah, I'm definitely a Tank fan. Yeah. That's my little baby nephew right there. I'm adopting that boy, because he makes a lot of sense. He gives his town and city credit, but he gives his training. He gives everybody their credit, and he don't make up all these damn excuses. He don't make up no excuses. What he's saying is, for me, makes sense. But when you start saying, oh, somebody's running from you and this and that you needed to experience, you needed to go 12 rounds. No, don't nobody need to go 12 rounds. You go 12 rounds when you have to go 12 rounds. You had to go 12 rounds because you couldn't close the show. Because if you can close the show, guess what? You closed the show. Like Tank did. Tank went out there and closed the show. I mean, great. It was still good boxing because we got to see, different levels, and we got to see different stuff when it pertains to boxing. We got to see a lot of different things. Now, a lot of people will get mad that Rashidi lost, but like I said earlier, if you heard me mention that sometimes even the judges, they get mixed up in the decisions. And at the best point, I would say a draw. At the best point, that's if you made the fight more even, it was a draw. But I think Rashidi edged. I think he might have won by 1 round. Close. Oh, yeah, I disagree. A professional boxer needs to at least once fill a 12-rounder. He don't have to fill a 12-rounder. Why? Why? Do you take more punishment in 12 rounds or 3 or 4 rounds? So you're saying a fighter needs that, a professional boxer. Just maybe a regular professional boxer, but if you want to have any kind of longevity there, you don't want to be going no 12-rounders. And you could go 12 rounds. I'm not, and now I agree with your point to say that it's probably good to have a 12-rounder, but no, that's not what my point was. You missed some of my point. My point was not that it went 12 rounds. My point was that you said it was good, that you liked it to go 12 rounds, or you didn't want that fight to go 12 rounds. If you wanted the fight to go 12 rounds, you wouldn't have been throwing haymakers. Stop it. Don't play with me. You think I'm not watching the shit? You throwing haymakers. Because some excellent boxers are going to take you into 12-round territory. I'm not saying that. What's your argument? Give me an argument, Lala. Lala D, give Eagles the argument. So because what you're saying is not. I can't argue with that. That's not really an argument. You can say that you need to be tested. I'm not gonna say you need to go 12 rounds, but you need to be tested with so many rounds. Now I'm not saying you are gonna end up going 12 rounds at some point, because that's what you do. You go 12 rounds. We don't have 15-round fights anymore. They should have 20-round fights. If these guys are so much greater athletes, I don't see what the argument is for them not to have 20-round fights. To be honest, I could watch a 20-round fight. That should be fun to watch. Because that 19th round, they're going to be just throwing haymakers one hand at a time. They're going to be holding one hand like this and just, I would love to see it. Go back and listen to your comment. I only responded, no, Lala D, I know what I said. You wanna fight with me? I said that he was, and I'll say it again, that he was not caring. He was not wanting that fight to go no 12 rounds. He said it was good that it went 12 rounds because he needs the rounds and the experience, but that's not. He made it seem like in the beginning. Go back to what he said. Don't go back to what I said. In the beginning, he said he was going to have the most spectacular fight of the night. Right? All that shit changed. I put all the little pieces together. I'm going to have the most spectacular fight of the night. Then, okay, let's go in the corner. Oh, he's running. Okay, that's the advice you're getting in your corner. He's running. The guy was not running. I don't know which fight that everybody's watching where this guy was just running all over the place. Act like he's just put on a tracksuit and started running around. Now, maybe you might have misinterpreted what I was saying, and it could be that my mind, that I was thinking I was saying one thing, but this is what I meant. Okay, so I clear it up. So I said, say it again, is that the 12 rounds, he did not want to go 12 rounds, because you can't say that you want to go 12 rounds if you're in there throwing haymakers and you saying how spectacular your fight's going to be. You're going to have the most spectacular fight. Basically what you're saying, you're going to have a knockout. The most spectacular fight of the night, and it wasn't the most spectacular fight of the night. And then your corner's talking about he's running and things of that nature. You just couldn't stop him. As simple as that. You didn't want to go to 12 rounds. It's good to go 12 rounds, but you didn't want to go 12 rounds. Because, see, you got to listen. You listen to the conversation before the fight, and then you listen during the fight, and then you listen to the aftermath I said in my video that he wasn't running, not for the most of the fight. He was being smart. Yes. So that's not an argument that me and you are having right now. I want to fight with you because you like to fight with Eagle. You like a Cynthia. I can fight with him. So he was being defensively smart. Okay, let me ask you this simple question too, though. Did Boots land any clean shots on this guy? Okay, I go back to what you're saying, not you, but he's saying how devastating his punching power is in both hands. You landed clean on this guy. There wasn't no time that you didn't land clean on him and he didn't land clean on you. Because that both of those things happened. He landed clean and you landed clean. So defensively, yes. If you look at it closely, it wasn't like a defensive fight for the guy. What this guy was doing is this guy had angles. This guy was fighting off of angles. He was not running. I see my brother out there, Surf Flame. Salute to Surf Flame. Said salute to Eagles West. Salute to the chat. He said, and as always, he said, jab that like button on y'all neck. He said, don't get naked. Eagles way of boxing. Of course, the fire is up good in the 100. And of course, he got those that glove up good like that. And don't forget about them things, brother. Yeah, a lot of these said, Surf Flame. He get flames and hearts. Where my flames and my hearts? Let me go. I got some hearts though. Okay, I ain't gonna fight with her. Well, I am gonna fight with her as soon as she come up with something. I think you got all your fighting out your system earlier today, so you don't even want to fight with Eagle. Yeah, you got your fighting out in somebody else's chat, which is cool. It's always good. But you already know that we're going to do grown folks chatting here. We're not going to go with the bullshit. And see, this, okay, another point. So the reason I got to talk about this fight so much, and I'm missing the Tank Davis fight because there was a lot of stuff that happened in the Tank Davis fight. But the reason I got to talk about this fight so much is because not just the fight itself, is because this is the bullshit that goes with boxing, is now they're saying that Boots is overrated, that everybody overrated him. No. That's for certain other channels. No. If you ask Sir Flame or anybody in here that's been coming to the chat, I never put any of them up on the pedestal like that. I never put Boots way up there. I just said Boots was good. And he needs his test like everybody else. But a lot of people just wanted to throw him straight in there with Earl. Like just throw him straight in there with Earl. Get in there with Earl. And I was saying to myself, I said, yeah, if he wants to go in there, you can be in there with Earl. But at the same time, I was never endorsing him as being like great already. I was not endorsing him. His skill set is good, but I was not endorsing him for being great because you have, and see, and then here's another point. This is where he made a mistake. See, he's still young. He don't even know that he made this mistake himself. He said, depending on his opposition, that depends on how he's going to look. I'll look greater if my competition is greater. Well, guess what? Your competition was greater. So you cannot say that this guy was less competition. How much sense does that make, Sir Flame, if you say that this guy was less competition, but he went the distance? But the guys that were more competition, you put them out. That shit, it's not even adding up, brother. That's just not adding up to me. Somebody tell me, make it make sense to me. A lot of D break it down for me so it makes sense to me. Or Sir Flame, or somebody break it down to Eagle so he can get it. Yeah. Sir Flame said, I always say that Boots need a test like Thurman. At least like Thurman, right? Something. I mean, I don't even know if I would put him in there with Thurman is better. I don't think I would even put him in there. Well, it depends on how this guy's mind is. I don't even know if I would put him in there with Ugas, to be honest. But his status is where it's at. So if he's top dog, then he has to fight top dog people now. That's who he has to fight. If that's where they put him. I mean, all the smiling like the real big smiles and shit like Adrian Broner, all those big smiles don't do shit. They don't do shit for me. But I'm not gonna throw him in the back. I'm not gonna throw him underneath and say, "Oh, he's not great. I mean, he's not good anymore." No, he's still good. I never said he wasn't good. But you got these bandwagon fight fans that are jumping on and off. So now they want to berate him and put him down. I never put him down. That's not what I'm doing. I'm checking him for the shit that he's saying. You know, if you're saying that you're only as good as your opposition and your opposition goes 12 rounds, then what are you saying? You're saying that you shouldn't be able to match up. Oh my God, Asante, we agree. I told you Boots is uppity. She cried. He gonna insult the man as lower competition, but he couldn't stop him. Salute to Boots though. I like Boots a lot. Yeah, see, that's the whole thing, Lala D, is I'm not mad at Boots. See, a lot of people, right now, you guys are going to see a lot of videos. You guys are going to see a lot of bullshit. And a lot of these hyped up channels are going to be like downplaying Boots and putting them down. No. What I just said, this is grown folks right here. So what I do is we going to check. So we'll check you, Lala D. You know that. You know Eagles Web. We know we don't play in here. So I'm going to check you if you come out with some bullshit. See, I'm going to check you. Because you're not going to tell me no dumb shit like, because, see, this is the whole thing, Sir Flame, how a lot of people have been falling into this. Oh, I can only be as good as my competition. Okay, stop that shit. Or I couldn't get up for the fight. Now, that's true with some fighters, and it has happened in the past. But we can't keep letting new fighters use that same old-ass excuse. You see what I mean? We can't let y'all use that same excuse that you couldn't put yourself up for this guy. You had to fight him. You told us how spectacular you was going to be. See all that smiling and all this with your chest up and shit. Say it with your chest. Oh, Gorilla Man. And you go out there and get, and, you know, you get embarrassed a little bit. And then, you know, oh, I need to get the 12 rounds in. No, stop hitting me with that bullshit. Don't play with us. Don't play with us. Because some of us, we follow this shit like seriously enough to where we're looking at you like, okay, I like the footwork. Okay, that's good. That guy was moving pretty good. And just like Hector Garcia, he was moving good on Tank. Can't nobody knock that guy. It's going to take a lot to beat that guy because that guy, like I said earlier, like when I was doing my assessment earlier, like last couple of nights ago, what I said was this guy is tough. It's going to take somebody to whoop it. It's going to take somebody. I see you out there, Derek Bailey. Salute to Derek. No, it's going to take somebody good to beat Hector because Hector is only going to be at 130. If it takes somebody you got to knock his eyesight out to stop this guy. And for me, when I watch him, when he plants his foot and he throws combination, he hits hard. He hits harder than what probably somebody's going to give him credit for. But this whole Boots stuff, like I said, I'm not going to knock Boots. I don't think Derek Bailey was not on the Boots bandwagon like that either. But all you bandwagon drivers that I'm noticing, because I'm not even going to the different forums, but I'm seeing them like pop up. Oh, Boots is overrated and all that. And he's not overrated. He's rated. He's a good fighter. He's rated where he needed to be at. He got the dub. That was a good guy that he fought. But he has to stop with the excuses. I don't want to hear nothing about how good you are when the competition stepped up. No. Because you should have been that good because that competition was better. And you should have stepped up and you should have met him. You got to step up. That guy stepped up. Nobody else, none of the top guys, Keith Thurman and those guys would not have let this guy, you know, outshine them or make them look flawed. Because you should have known that you're going to have haters because people like you and they like you, but they kind of figure that you got a little bit of arrogantness to you. And so they was waiting for you to fall. So, of course, they're going to jump. They're going to jump off. Oh, you overrated. You ain't shit. Of course they're going to do that. Just like Lala D said. She said the Boots a little bit uppity. Yeah. And then you're going to get all upset. Oh, yeah, because the competition. No, that was good enough competition. That was good enough competition, brother. That was good enough competition for you to step your ass up. Yep. Sir Flame said, not Ugas. He said, I just think Boots versus Once Upon a Time would show a lot. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying if Ugas is anywhere to where he was before he fought Earl, if he's gotten anything back, that would be a good fight for him. Yeah, but yeah, he could fight sometime. Yeah, Gil was in here earlier, so I don't know. He's not saying that. Gil ain't saying nothing about playing the flute. Yeah, so Gil might have stepped out, but yeah, he's been busy. But yeah, Gil was in here. He might have been arguing with you about Boots fighting Thurman. Well, he would have said, yeah, bring him on. Did Thurman take him? I like to see him, like I said, if Ugas is anywhere where he needs to be at, then fight Ugas. But stop with the bullshit. That's cap. If you're gonna talk about cap, that's cap. And don't play. You can't play in here like that. We can have fun in here, but you can't play in here like that with that on that kind of bullshit. We ain't nobody going for that kind of stupid shit. We're not gonna go for although the competition wasn't up there. No, we not. Who going for that? Not in here. Go to another chat if you want somebody to go with you and like, you gotta listen to him, Eagle. No, we don't. We ain't listening to him. Yep. Lala D say Sir Flame 100. She got hundreds all over the place. Lala D say facts is unfair. Yeah. Derek Bay said, you late, Eagle. No, your ass is late. I was a little bit late. You way late, Derek. Derek said, peace to the queen at Lala D. Derek Bay says, salute at Sir Flame. And Derek Bay says, salute at Eagles Web Boxing. Finally, after he started his you late, Eagle. Yeah. He thought he hit harder than Tank. Yeah. He think he a hard puncher. Yeah, but Hector hits pretty good, though. I mean, Tank didn't complain about his power. Yep. Derek Bay said, salute to Gil Coles. Yeah, Derek said, I didn't know Karen had smooth footwork like that. See, Derek said that, Lala D. Lala D said, Derek, she give the heart. But see, Lala D, exactly what I was telling you. Because Karen, what we call him Derek, had a hand. I'm gonna learn how to say his name now. I'm gonna learn how to say his name, man. We ain't gonna disrespect him like that. Cause we was calling him Karen had a hand. But I'm gonna learn how to say his name, man. I didn't want to butcher his name, so we just came up with Karen had a hand. But Derek, right? Derek said exactly what I said before Derek got here. Is that guy had footwork, and that's what even when you go back and listen to the announcers, they were saying the same thing. That guy had footwork, and that's what you wasn't expecting. You expecting somebody just gonna be flat-footed, come straight forward to you. That he was smoothly moving. Anytime somebody have your ass leaping and almost throwing yourself out the ring, come on. And you're telling me that that's not good competition? Stop it. Okay. Law DC, she said be right back. A short meeting. Derek, he almost did you see him almost throw himself out the ring? Boots almost threw himself out the damn ring. He almost threw it. He was frustrated, man. Almost threw himself out the ring. Are you serious? You almost threw yourself out the ring and you talking that shit? You almost threw yourself out the ring, brother. Out the ring. The RING. The squared circle. You almost threw yourself out the ring, but you talking about that they need to step up your competition. Stop it. Stop. That's cap. If somebody won't say something's cap, that's cap. You trying to play us. Eagles Web Boxing, you can't play us in here. You can play it in somebody else's forum. You can play them. Oh, yeah, you right. But I'm not. See, the thing I'm not going to do against Boots is I'm not going to jump on. I'm not going to say Boots ain't no good or he overrated. I'm not going to never say he's overrated because the rating system works on the way that it's going. Canelo's overrated. Because you got these boxers still blind. They calling him pound for pound because they think if they call him pound for pound, then it's going to bring them some money. Calling Canelo pound for pound is not going to get y'all no money. Stop calling this freak pound for pound. It ain't going to bring y'all no money. Stop it. Yep, y'all not getting no money for saying that Canelo's pound for pound. Not nothing. Y'all not getting 10 cents. Stop endorsing him as pound for pound. We're going to see his ass running in the next 6 months. He's not going to do shit. He's going to be running in the next 6 months. Now, because now Andrade moved up to 168. Where you going to go, Canelo? You got Benavidez up there. Now you got Andrade up. You got so many people. And then you going to drop that down to 160? You going to mess around and stay in the game so long Earl's going to be at 160. Then what you going to do? All your shit is getting exposed. Just because Mayweather said you was going to be the future of boxing don't mean shit. Because when Mayweather said you're going to be the future of boxing, either he going to throw a monkey wrench in it or he's just capping. In that case, he just helped you out. Oh, yeah, he's a future Hall of Famer and all. He helped you out. He helped your career out. You got your ass whooped by him, which I don't understand how you got your ass whooped by him and then we didn't demand other fights. Like the public should have demanded a second fight with Lara and a second fight with Trout. And you should have fought Bivol right away. Stop running this shit. That should have been. Yeah, I need to get that re-up just so I can show everybody how great I am. That's one thing that you never done, Canelo, is you didn't go back and get that. Go back and get that work. Yeah, of course you went and fought Triple G, but you should have went right back at Beef. I got to go back and get my get back on it. Yeah, you showing the championship creed from the past into now has always been that if the champ lost like that, he go back and get his. You didn't go back and get yours, man. Derek said Garcia got too comfortable taking some of Tank's punches, so he stayed in the pocket. Tank is a slow starter, and once he got into his rhythm, he knocked Garcia's eyeballs loose. Yeah, I can agree with most of what you said, but what I don't agree with is he wasn't really comfortable in the pocket. What happened is he had to fight in the pocket because the only thing that was working from him from long distance was his jab a little bit. And then Tank would get underneath that jab and throw some hard shots, and he knew that the jab wasn't going to win him no rounds. So he had to sacrifice a little bit. I'm not going to say he was comfortable. You might have seen it as him being comfortable, but I don't think that he was actually comfortable. I think that he had to fight in spurts. He had to try to stay inside. And I think at one point, like in the 8th round, what happened is I think he got stuck. In my estimation, I think he got stuck in there. I think it was like, oh shit, I'm in here, I'm exchanging. And I think he got cracked a couple of times. He's like, well, I got to show this bravado. And I think that he just like, instead of just, okay, let me step back out, let me get outside and throw a couple of these jabs. That was a good exchange. It might have been even. So for him to win, even exchange inside and then get back. Yeah, the bravado, yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. I said bravado, brother. What you talking about, Derek? Don't start no shit. Hey, send me that picture, man. I got to see my gear out there. I'm supposed to be making some other stuff for some people, but I got to get some more supplies. So, but I'm going to work on this badass breastplate and stuff. Yeah, but the bravado, that's what I was saying. But yeah, you get your ass in there. This boxing stance right here is a sneaky boxing stance. Because people, they don't know. It's like in between the shoulder roll. One hand is palmed, and they thinking this is the block hand. But see, you can throw it. See, it's turned over. You see what I mean? So you shoot it, and it's actually turning and closing. It's actually turning and closing. See? I just thought, fella, I'll show that. Surprises Boots didn't cut off the ring and use the jab more. Jab to the chest. He couldn't. It's because what you said, now you came in here proper. You came in here saying that the guy had the footwork. And that's what it was. He had footwork. See, they were not expecting that. Yeah, another point right there. That's a great point too there. That's a great point too. Garcia, yeah, he did have the hand low like too much. He would bring it up a little bit when they got in close, but yeah, when he's in the pocket, yeah, he's still a little bit too low sometimes. What I was gonna say. So yeah, back to the Boots. They were never expecting the fight to go the way that it went, brother. That's the whole point. And that's why I like Tank's trainer. I like both of them. I like Tank and I like the trainer. I like their words at before and after fight. They said that they don't go in looking to just blow through somebody. You see what I mean? They know the guy's gonna train different for him. Like, this guy's gonna be ready. He's not gonna, you ain't gonna just go in there and just blow him out. He's gonna try to survive. He's gonna try to play chess with you. And see, that's the best way to think when you have a fighter. The best way to think is, we're going in, no matter what this guy did before, we're still going into the unknown. We're still going into the unknown. And if we're going into the unknown, then it's unknown. We don't know. You go into the unknown, but what do you know when you go into the unknown? When it pertaining to boxing and, fighting for a championship. You go into the unknown knowing that you have to win by any means necessary. I might need the knockout. I might need to, it might need to go to the scorecards. I need to have the most rounds won decisively. I can't go back to my corner and my corner say, I don't know, they think that they might have gave that to him. Oh, that was close. That's the language that you don't want to hear. But another thing I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear how spectacular you're going to be, because the thing is, see, Boots put his own self on that shit. He put his own self on how spectacular he was going to be. He put himself on that. We didn't put him on that, but he put himself on, I'm going to be the most spectacular fighter of the night. And I'm just clowning. I don't have to go in that hard on him, Derek, but I just want to. And the reason I want to is because that was his mouthpiece. That's your mouthpiece telling us, get your popcorn ready. Don't blink. I mean, that's what I was looking at. I was like, oh shit, I better not blink during this fight. And we got up to 5 rounds. I was like, oh shit, I guess I can blink. 6th, 7th round, I'm like, oh shit, I can go make something to eat. You see what I mean? Once it got up higher and higher, I was like, shit, I can go cook. The way that fight went, you can go cook something. Like, shit, I can go cook now. Shit. I mean, you could have cooked, brother. You could have made yourself a nice little meal and just like, okay, and just enjoyed the fight. I mean, the fight, to me, the expectations of the fight was way higher than what the fight ended up being. But this is what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to unendorse him, but I never had him like endorsed all high like everybody else. I never had him like way up here. I just said, they put him there, so I guess that's where he's at. They put Ortiz up there, so I guess that's where he's at. Do we know that they're really there? A lot of times you can get people hyped up. I mean, if you're an athlete, or if you ever been an athlete, that happens to us all the time as athletes. They hype us all up. They, oh yeah, you got this. And you'll feel to yourself, hell yeah, I got this. Until you go out there and get your ass sprinkled, you know what I mean? Get your ass sprayed. They'll get your ass sprayed like spray paint. Somebody turn your ass into graffiti. You know what I mean? Certain sport, they turn your ass into graffiti, then you know. A smart trainer, even though he was boxing and he was training in a amateur / pro gym, he once told me, which it always makes sense, because he liked my jab. But he said, you know what? He said, on that one jab, he said, just use these other jabs first. He said, don't show him. He said, don't show him that. Don't show him that yet. So when the round started, you just show him a certain, you show him something. You show him a little bit of something. Show him, and then you change something up on their ass. You change, like that's a whole different jab. Jab to come up like that. That's like almost straight across, but he said, don't show him that. Show him this. Show him that, but don't show him that yet. You know what I mean? So when you have somebody that's, I'm not saying the Boots is predictable, when you got these fighters that we've seen their style, we know how they fight. It's called adapting and stuff. We just watched that happen to Michel Rivera. We just seen that happen to him, right? So that just happened a couple of weeks ago. That we just watched it. Everything you're doing, the adaptability, same. As a matter of fact, it was almost the same type of a fight, except for Karen did not have that kind of offense like Martin did. He didn't have that kind of offense. He had good footwork. He didn't have the kind of speed or the kind of combination like offense. And the result was just opposite. So Boots came in as the boxer, but he didn't come in as the catcher. Like I can't catch you. Because like I said, when he was throwing them punches and damn near throwing himself outside the ring, I was like, no, see, you trying for a home run, desperate punch. Is that what you meant by that you're gonna have the most spectacular fight? No. You're not tricking all of us with the bullshit. Like I said, I don't fall for them. Just like the Ryan Garcia, I'm not even hyped up. I'm not even that serious and hyped up on him. I'm still hyped up on my little nephew, my baby nephew, Tank. I'm still hyped up on him more than anybody. And the reason I'm hyped up on him is because he's being real. He's being true to his people. He's being true to the fans, and he's being true to himself. And what more can you ask for? He's true to his people. He's true to his family. From what my estimation of what I see of him is, he's being truthful. Now somebody might argue with me, but for me, that's what he's just being more truthful, and I like people just being more real. He's more real because he's not even no excuses after the fight. He's just saying what he's doing. Like, hey, I had to do this. Shit, I wasn't going out there. This guy, that little guy, that damn Hector Garcia is more dangerous than what people think he is, and y'all gonna see if he's okay, if he don't have nothing like really like terminally, when I say terminal, like boxing terminally wrong with him because of getting that. Because he got that cranium cracked, then we're gonna see at 130. I'm gonna tell you, ain't nobody gonna f with him. I don't think I said he gonna be in my corner. I got to give him like another fight or two. I'm not gonna highly endorse him, but he's getting my endorsement on toughness. Anybody can just take a Tank fight and not really get KO'd. He's probably headed for it, though. He was headed for a whole lot of damage, though, because Tank wasn't playing. Tank almost threw himself out the ring on one shot. But I think Tank is smart. I think he does that as a visual for us. Tank, he's very short. Don't underestimate Tank. Tank is very smart. A lot of fighters do that shit, too. Deontay Wilder does it every once in a while. Like, sometimes fighters will do that. They will throw like a huge shot that misses, but they really never tried to land it. Because you can see how short, when Tank threw one, like it was hard, like a left, he threw it like, and it was just so hard that he almost threw himself down with it. But a lot of that's showmanship. You got to understand that. When you watch this stuff, you got to understand that. Oh, don't get so hyped up about every punch that the fighter throws. Because a feint is not just this all the time. A feint is just not that all the time. A feint can be a make you think about getting hit by a shot type of shot. Like, throw that shit real quick. Yeah, what? See, and that makes you think, oh shit, I almost got caught with that. No, you didn't almost get caught with that, but it just warrants like a reaction. So a lot of times they want you to react to something like that. But like I said, I'm not going to jump on Boots, and I'm not going to go all crazy. A lot of people going crazy on Boots, and the Boots is. I'm not going to go crazy and take him out of where they had him, because that's where they had him. And I never took him out of that. I never said that they couldn't have him. They couldn't have him there. But you see what I mean? I didn't ever say, oh, don't put Boots here. But what I said, and I said that I'll say it again and again, is I said that my endorsement for him is just not as high as everybody else's endorsement. Because I know that you have to, especially if you're having all these short fights, you have to have a fight to where somebody's showing something. And you've seen a fight where a guy actually was taking the punches and moving. Derek said, he said, I know. He said, yep. Yeah, but you're right. Garcia, you got to keep them hands up, brother. But like I said, that little guy, so little Hector Garcia, so I'm going to endorse him. And what you guys got to understand is these are still all our people that's fighting. Okay, regardless of how you look at it or whatever, if you look at that at a Panamanian flag or a Dominican Republic flag, those are still your people. They live over here with us, man. All of us really live together. Even those Mexicans, they live over here with us. I don't care nothing about no countries. Just because you name something. Those people are still over here with us. All of them. All the way down from Alaska all the way down to Chile or below, or Peru, Argentina, way at the whichever one's at the bottom. Those are still all our people. They live on our landmass. Hey, we live in the same spot. Those are our people, to a certain extent. So I don't want you to get too crazy. What do you mean, Eagle? I don't want you to flip out. Yeah, people get crazy with Eagle. You know, Eagle like making people go crazy. Yeah, Lala D, where you at, Lala D? Get back in here. You're meeting. We need to have you in there so you can start your trouble with Eagle like you usually do. She tried to start some trouble, Derek, before you got here, but it didn't last. Her trouble didn't. It wasn't enough. She didn't have enough of an argument for me. I'm like, well, you got to have more of an argument than that. You know what I mean? You got to have. If you gonna argue with Eagle, you got to have like more of an argument. I need something. Yeah, I need something to work. I need something to work off of. If you're gonna argue with me, I got to have something to work off of. No little lightweight arguments. I told her it's fine though. I mean, it's cool. We can have a little lightweight discussion. You know, but what's not gonna happen is, nobody in here. And see, that's what thing I love about coming in here is because we don't have people just keep flip flopping back and forth. I told. Or we'd be like, I told y'all he wouldn't. We can't, for some reason, Derek. I guess because the people that we have is, we got quality people, man. Which you can't get 1 out of 1,000 people, and I got all of them in here, all my 1 out of 1,000. So I got like 10 out of 10,000 or whatever in here, or more. It might not the percentage might not even be that high. It might be 1 out of 10,000 or 1 out of 100,000 that actually get it. But people that seem to come in here, they seem like they get it. We're not going to sit there and endorse you real high if we don't trust you. We're not going to knock you. But I'm going to tell you, what made me to understand that this was quality conversation was when Ajagba fought the Cuban. And nobody in here went with, maybe one person that's not usually regular in here went with Ajagba. Everybody else was like, nah, the Cuban's going to take his ass to school. And that's exactly what we end up getting. We end up getting that Cuban taking his ass to school. And matter of fact, the Cubans was on the road about that time too, though. But I remember that. I distinctly remember because I know a lot of other chats, everybody was hollering about it. Oh, Ajagba. I was like, no. We didn't highly endorse none of these people. And just like we said years ago, we said the same thing about Du Bois. I said, nope, we're not going to be riding high on no damn Du Bois. We can see it. And Joyce ended up being, now he's better than Du Bois is. Shit, Joyce will end up being a sleeper as long as he keeps his chin intact. And, maybe he needs another fight or so before he can fight somebody like Wilder, but he could probably still fight Wilder, but as long as his chin is intact, if he fights Wilder and Wilder can't crack him, then he could win. He can end up getting Wilder in trouble if Wilder runs out of gas. But I don't know if anybody can really take Wilder's crack besides Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury has that. He has that thaw. He has the in-thaw advantage. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I thought about this a lot. A lot of people, when you have that in-thaw advantage, and yes, I'm kind of talking in code right now, but you guys figure it out. He has that in-thaw advantage. And see, the reason, when you got the in-thaw advantage, it's not like you're I know I'm mean. I'm not trying to be like mean. I'm not trying to be mean, but it has to be mean in order for me to make it make sense. So when you have that in-thaw in you, what happens is I think it's like an animal type of instinct type of thing, where you have to kill them. Like in a person, like if they suffer from a KO or something, like they just out, like they just dizzy, and their brain thinks like, you don't go into, see, the difference between us is we don't go into survival mode if we're out. We go into like a different type of survival mode. Like, what happened, man? I think I was knocked out. We want the compassion from somebody. Just put me on the board and take me to the hospital. That's what we want. But when you got that in-thaw in you, and I'm not saying it's 100% all the time, but sometimes you got that in-thaw in you. It's like, it's survival. I'm almost getting killed, and you come back. You see what I mean? And that has nothing to do with reflexes. Like reflexes is different. I've seen fighters that get knocked out and they're on the canvas. I know you guys probably seen it, and they still doing this. Like they still throwing punches. That's not what I'm talking about. That don't mean they got that enthal in them. Put that enthal. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what was her argument? There she is right there. She's back. Oh no. Her Lala D, she didn't. Well, she was trying to fight with me. She told me she's trying to fight with me a little bit. She was trying to argue, but she couldn't really. She tried to get my words twisted up, so I had to reiterate what I was saying to make it more clear. But she, we ended up agreeing with most of it. She wanted to fight with me, but she ended up agreeing with me, and then she ended up saying that Boots was that he's kind of uppity and stuff. She went in the champ side, and that's where she got her. That's where she was in there fighting with those guys in there. Yeah, because she was in there defending Gary Russell. Yeah, and I put him out there too, though, a little bit, and so I just gave my opinion about what he was doing, and then her and Gil jumped on me a little bit because they was agreeing that he should be able to say something. I said, well, yeah, you can't be giving so much advice calling everybody shorty if you didn't, if you got your ass whooped. And you should have been taking your own advice. I'm not saying you can't talk, but just follow your advice sometimes. If you're trying to say that. And then we were just discussing Boots a little bit about how everybody wants to throw him underneath the bus. He was overrated and all that. And then I was at the point where I was saying that Boots, they weren't ready. They weren't ready for. If you guys looked at my little update that I put out a couple of days ago, that's the same thing I was saying. I don't think they were prepared for the type of fight that they had. I just didn't think that they was prepared for that. You know what I mean? They just weren't. They weren't prepared. And he put his foot in his own mouth. And see, what I did is I put it together. I started off by saying that Boots said this before the fight: I'm gonna have the most spectacular win. Okay. During the fight, okay, so we seen that was bullshit. So one part of what he said that ended up being bullshit. The second part that ended up being bullshit was when he was fighting in his corner, they was telling him the guy was running. I'm like, oh, that's bullshit. So that's two things that was bullshit. After the fight, he was talking about that he needed to go to 12 rounds, which was kind of bullshit, not bullshit, but you wasn't trying to have the fight go 12 rounds because you threw a haymaker one time, a hook, that you almost threw yourself out the ring. So that was bullshit. So everything he ended up saying was bullshit. But guess what? Out of all the stuff that he said was bullshit, I still did not unendorse him. I just never had him endorsed that high. And you remember I said it before the fight, Derek. I told him, I said, I don't have Boots way up there like everybody. I said he just we got to see him, we got to see something. And then, so, like I said, I got to learn this guy's name. Because we disrespected the guy's name. I didn't want to butcher his name, so we just called him. So I just said, Karen had a hand. Oh, they were Junior, not Antoine. Now Antoine don't talk. Antoine don't talk like that. That's his bro. That's little Gary. Call him Little Gary, the one that call everybody Shorty all the time. I'm gonna just start calling him when you ask about which Gary Russell. I'm gonna just start saying Shorty, because he call everybody Shorty all the time. Yeah, he always call everybody Shorty. A lot of people from that area they call you Shorty. They stuck on Shorty. They like Shorty, so they stuck on that. Yeah, so that's what we were kind of going back and forth about a little bit. But then when I started saying more and breaking it down more, and then I think she just more or less came to my side. Like, you're right, Eagle. That's not there. She came to my side after a while. But we started off kind of like on a little bit. It's not really that way. I don't really argue. You guys get your points. And I give my point, and you guys give me your side. But you realize how we do this is we talk about these way before it happened. And I know I didn't get to cover like a lot of the fights. I didn't get to cover a lot of stuff. Um, it would have been nice to cover a lot more because I didn't really get to cover Tank. But we seen what happened though. Tank was easy. It was a nice little battle. It was a chess. It was a chess battle for a while. It was a nice little. I liked it. It started off a little slow first round. Second round we started getting in some action. And by the time we got to the fourth, then we was getting full blown action out of Tank. Tank was like Tank was trying to throw some decapitating punches, and also Garcia was trying to throw some decapitating punches. Yeah, you got that right there. We damn sure did. We killed his name though. So I said I'm gonna give him respect. So I'm gonna learn how to say his name instead, because I know his name ain't Karen Chuck Hadahan. Karen Chuck Hadahan. That's what I said. I said Karen had a hand, but it was Karen Chuck had a hand. But Karen Chuck had a hand. I'm gonna have to learn how to say his name because we did. So we butchered his name, and it wasn't out of. Now to be honest, for me, it wasn't out of like any kind of. We was just having fun with your name, but it wasn't out of like disrespect. It was just out of I didn't. I said I just don't feel like butchering this guy's name right now. So we just and I got that shit from Derek. So y'all can blame Derek for that shit anyway, because Derek did that like a couple of weeks ago. Derek did that shit with another fighter, and Derek had me crying. What was his name, Derek? All of y'all in them, all your sisters. What was his name? All the sisters in them or something. Oh, yeah, all the sisters in them. He was talking about Avarician or whatever his name was. But Derek was calling them all the sisters in them. All the sisters in them. That's a damn shame. Okay, Lala D cried. Lala D came in crying. She just campsite and said, "This nigga fighting Chaka Khan," laughing out loud. He calls him Chaka Khan. See, so we wasn't the only one. We wasn't the only one, Lala D, but Derek. See, Derek started this because usually I've been cool like lately. I've been cool for like months. I don't change. I haven't changed nobody's name. What was the last person's name that I actually really changed? I mean, that wasn't out of, sheer that I had to, like Mikey. Like we changed Mikey's name. Now we changed people's name, but we wasn't so, bad with it. But I'm telling you right now, I haven't done that shit. I would say at least 6 months. But Derek started me on this, Lala D. He started me on this with the Avarician, or however you say his name, because he was calling all my sisters and them. He called the guy all my sisters and all your sisters and them. I was like, oh wow, because it was who Bud was fighting. All my sisters and them, all his sisters and them. I was like, wow. So Derek got me on that. So, but the Chaka Khan, that's worse. And he can fight Chaka Khan. So Chaka Khan, that's even worse. Not the Chaka Khan. Damn, that's an old school singer. They put that on Chaka Khan. That's nice. That ain't nice. Something there. You still insist on calling Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay, but we're trying to break you out of it. Oh yeah, there he is. Not sisters, and he said and his niece and them. I said sisters, but I know it was a female. Yeah, Derek's called him and his niece and them. So look how he put the words together. He didn't even separate it. He put it together so you can phonetically put it together. He said and his niece and them. That's who Bud fought. So Bud fought and his niece and them, and then come back. We can't make this shit up. And he come right back, and Boots is fighting Chaka Khan. Chuck. But hey, I had one of the words right, Chuck, because I said Chuck. I said Chuck had a hand. Chaka Khan. That's kind of like Chaka Khan. Chuck had a hand. They kind of close. No, and I won't call Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay. And the only reason I do call Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay, the reason I call him Clay, well, we got to understand, so we talk about grown folks chatting here a lot of times. We just talk grown. We don't always talk about boxing. So I'm going to say this to you, Lala, that Clay is a native name to this earth and to this land. Clay is a native name. It was never a slave name. I doubt if that Ali even had slaves in his family. It wasn't a slave name. Ali's a Native American. All you got to do is look at his mom and dad and see that he's Native American. He's native to this country. He's not African. Even though he took the name Ali, he wasn't no Egyptian and all that. He wasn't no Arabic or nothing like that. That's a native name. It came from the ground. That's the most. I mean, if you're going to take a name, if you just think about this, if you don't believe in evolution and you believe in creation and you believe that you came out of the clay, your first name, even if you didn't have a first name, you called yourself man, your last name would be Clay, or man from the clay. That's a beautiful name, Clay. That's a beautiful name. Clay is a beautiful name. Clay. A lot of stuff you can do with clay, mold the clay and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it makes sense. There's somebody that was that wonderful of a fighter had the name of Clay. And Cassius too? Cassius. Are you kidding me? Cassius and Clay? Wow. He had a great name. Anyway, Derek Bay said the commentators were getting on my nerves, especially during the Andrade fight. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta turn it down, man. You have to listen to the commentators like after you look at the fight a couple of times, then you turn them on just to see what they say. Cause they gonna get on your nerves. You gotta shut their asses up. Yeah, you gotta shut them up. And actually, I did have them on. To be honest, I had them on for the Tank fight. A lot of times you can't tune them out. Like I'll be wanting to tune them out, and sometimes they just get so annoying. Like you said, they get on your nerves so much. You're like, man, shut your ass up. You don't know shit about boxing. And I was waiting. See, this is what I was waiting for. Now, the reason I was listening for it is because D'Lo, D'Lo comes in here, right? So D'Lo has, he did a spot on his show where when announcers' mouthpieces get them in trouble. And he was showing people getting, like, once the announcer was saying that a fighter was doing so good, he was showing what happened to, especially like Al Bernstein. Like when Tank was fighting Cruz, when he fought Santa Cruz, right? And Al Bernstein was saying, well, if he thinks that he's going to just one of those shots is going to take Santa Cruz out, he better rethink or whatever. As soon as before he can get the words out, Tank knocked him out. See, and so I was listening to the commentating mostly because I was waiting for Tank to turn it up. I didn't do it for everybody, but I was waiting for Tank to turn it up so one of them can get caught saying some bullshit, and so we can have another clip of when announcing a fight goes wrong. So that's what I was waiting on. But you guys must be brothers and sisters. All you guys is crazy as hell saying stuff like that, calling them. Damn, even Champside, I don't even go to Champside that much, but Champside, they're talking about Chaka Khan, and we talking about Chuck Hanahan, and Derek talking about and his nieces and them. Hey, y'all start fighting people. Start fighting somebody where we can pronounce the names, man. Because we're not gonna be straining our brains and stuff trying to figure out how these guys' names, we're not going to be straining our brains and shit on that. You know what I mean? So y'all going to have to fight somebody where we can understand what the name is. Because if you don't, then we going to probably butcher their name. We going to change their name to how we can understand it. And his nieces and them or whatever we got to do. We got to do what we got to do up in Eagles, man. I ain't trying to make it hard on my people up in there. Yeah, Derek and his nieces and them fighting. If you told somebody that, you say the nieces and them. If you told an older person that, they'd be like, well, "What you talking about, baby? His nieces and them is fighting." Yeah, a professional fight. His nieces and them. And the nieces come on, and the niece comes on. But Hector, don't worry about it. You got another fan behind you, and I'm not really nobody's fan, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna endorse you. But I put a cautionary statement on my endorsement. The cautionary statement is I have to watch you fight at least a couple of more fights to make sure that the brain is still intact, because Tank can ruin careers. I think Earl Spence ruins careers more than anybody, but he's not getting the credit for it. Earl Spence really does ruin people's career. He does. He beats the stuffing out of you. I mean, he had Danny Garcia crying. Once Danny Garcia moved up to 154, if you remember, Danny Garcia was crying because of Earl. He's not gonna say it was because of Earl, but he was all went into a depression and all this other shit. That's because that Earl ass whooping. That's why he started calling Earl a middleweight and all that. Yeah, well, Earl's a middleweight. That's why he started calling him a middleweight. No, he whooped your ass at 147, and there ain't no weight. And we don't play that weight bully shit in here, because if you're gonna say that, then you got a problem with me. Because if you're calling people weight bullies, then that means Oscar De La Hoya was a weight bully when he fought Floyd Mayweather. He lost. He was a weight bully when he fought Shane Mosley, and he lost. And probably was a weight bully when he fought Pacquiao and lost. Uh-oh. Sweet Pea Whitaker moved up. Who else moved up? Roberto Duran was one of the best that fought to moved up. He fought and beat Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was a weight bully. And then Donnie Lalonde was a weight bully because Sugar Ray had to go up and fight him and beat him. So let's stop with this whole weight shit, this whole weight distribution shit. If you make the weight, that's what weight you are. You ain't gonna make the weight on just draining yourself of water because it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. Believe me, if you just lose this water, if you just lose all of this, so you lose 20 pounds in water, there's no way to replace that 20 pounds. You're gonna be cramping up and everything else. So you have to lose weight another way. And by eating does not, your body is not going to get, your muscles and stuff ain't going to become strong overnight if you have a weigh-in and because you come in weighing more. Come on, that's it. You would figure that most of it, I would say that 50% of that weight maybe is water, but not 100% of the weight. I mean, you can bring some, you get stronger only because, you feel, people, just like kids feel good after they eat. So you feel better after you eat. But you ain't coming in punching like a super heavyweight because you had a good meal. Yeah, Andrade, he got bruised up a little bit. I'm surprised old Rourke didn't come in, huh? I'm surprised Ryan didn't come in here talking shit about Andrade. Maybe maybe he's upset because Andrade won. and look who's here today too. Lala D's here. Lala D, if Rourke would have been in here, it would have been on between Lala D and Rourke. Lala and Rourke, I can see it now. Yeah, Derek, we run a little bit late, brother, but you came in late, man. And I wanted you to hear a few things. Let's cap them up. And let's see. So Andrade won. Peterson. So one Peterson lost. So I think Anthony won though, right? Anthony won. I didn't get to see it. Lee won. So I'm going to let's go over the winners. Boots won with against Chaka Khan. Chuck had a hand. Andrade won against Nicholson. Davis wins against Garcia with the best fight of the night with the terrible TKO. Knocked the KTFO and better retirement, basically. That's what he ended up doing, retired. Andrade Ellis ends up losing a majority. God dang, we was trying to go with Ellis, so if you want to look at my card, so I probably lost on that one, on the Ellis, because I think I was picking Ellis on that. Super lightweight Lee, so he got the TKO, and then I forget which. Okay, Taniguchi versus Jerusalem. Taniguchi got knocked the F out. And this one I didn't know on this one. Valadares versus Shingo Oka. That was Friday. I didn't watch that fight. Sorry, y'all. So I don't know. I don't really know who even won that fight because I didn't watch it. I didn't watch that fight at all. But the rest of them, and then of course the Peterson brothers. One of the Petersons won, and then one, of course, Adrian probably has to go back into retirement. Well, I have to go back. I have to try to find the fight. I want to see how much damage, if he took a lot of damage, or he just looked like he had been out. You know what I'm saying? If it looks like he just been out of boxing, then maybe he can come back and get another fight. Come back and get your money. Listen, look at Lala. See, don't nobody miss a beat, Derek. Think about it. Don't nobody miss a beat in the Eagles wear boxing. Even Lala D, she come back. And she talking like me. I don't know. She girl, you gotta stop hanging around me all the time. She said I would have lit his crumpet eating ass up. Cause we get on y'all serving them about them crumpets, don't we, Derek? We talk about their whole cuisine over there a lot of day. We be talking bad about the English cuisine. Like I was like, what y'all got over there? Fish and chips and shit. What's y'all main dish? I'm like, y'all ain't got very much spice over there. Y'all got to eat imported shit. Y'all got nothing but foreign restaurants over there. Y'all can't cook. Where do the English cook go? Let's talk shit about English people right now, just for a second, a lot of day, before we get out of here. What do English people cook good that we enjoy over here? There's only one thing that I know, and I don't know necessarily if they even make them. And I do like the muffins, though. In the morning, I have eaten some English muffins. For some reason, they have a certain taste to them. I will eat them. I'll drown that shit in some butter, though. But they got to be like crunch and chewy at the same time. I don't like them like too crispy, and I don't like them. I can't eat them like raw. For some reason, that something happens if you eat them raw. But what do y'all make? What do y'all think? What do you guys make? What's your spiciest, best food? Like, oh shit, I got to get me some English clam chowder. Did they invent that shit? Yeah. There, he should have came in and but you know what? This is what's gonna happen when we least expect it. Their paths are gonna cross when we least expect it. When we least expect it, Lala's gonna meet him, and Lala's gonna go off, and that's gonna be a fun chat. That's gonna be one where all the laughing faces. See how many laughing faces y'all had today? But them laughing faces is gonna be up there. It's gonna be like some of our older shows. Some of our older shows where all we had was, remember before we had to go through all this shit with the boxing and stuff. Remember, we used to have our shows used to be nothing but everybody crying up in here. Yeah, but I'm talking about the English. So the English, but that's not their dish though. If they make an Indian dish, a lot of they said they make a decent Indian dish. Tikka masala is their national dish. Okay, that's the English. That's an English national dish. It sounds Indian to me. Derek said, "Yep." Derek can't wait for it either. Derek, we're gonna just die laughing. I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna do. The show is just gonna be about us. It's gonna be about me just reading comments. I'm not even gonna be able to have a show back then. I'm just gonna be able to. Okay, a lot of these said that is theirs. Okay, I thought it was Indian. Okay, but they make the tikka masala. Okay, well at least shit, but you can't just live off of that. Tea, yeah, that's all we talk about. We talk about they tea and crumpets. That's what y'all sort of like to come at. But y'all sort of don't eat that shit though, because he's Muslim, I think, right? So y'all sort of eat something completely different. He don't mess with all that tea and crumpet shit, But we talk about that when we come in here. We got to have something to laugh and cry about, man. I'm sorry. People, y'all get mad at us if you want to, but we got to have something to laugh and cry about every once in a while. But shout out to all the winners and shout out for all you other warriors that came in. And you guys put up, you guys try to put a show on. You try to do what you can do. And we're going to think of your name, Chukka Khan. We're going to put some respect on your name. We got to watch your next couple of fights to see what you do. Because you stepped up the competition. So that means you belong up there with them. You might be a notch below them. But if you start training with some trainers over here, you got good foot movement, they're going to end up turning you into a pretty decent boxer. Shit, they may turn you into a boxer, and I don't want to overstep my bound, but they may turn you into a contender. They may turn you into somebody. You might get a lower belt. Or shit, you might get your hands on one of them belts. Who knows? because somebody they underestimate you and mess around and look like you got a little bit of a beard on you too. If we can get your upper body moving a little bit better, just not footwork. Get you on some combinations like okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2 here, 1, 3 here, a couple of hooks here, a couple of. If they can work with you like that, then we'll put even more respect on your name. But we gotta, we can't be just calling you Chaka Khan because, hey, you damn sure didn't con. You made somebody else almost look like a con, and I'm not gonna go off. Like I said, I'm not gonna go off. I'm not gonna unendorse the guy, and I'm not gonna put him lower than where they had him at. And I'm damn sure I'm not gonna stamp him like a lot of people did. Y'all so disrespectful, man. When y'all he overrated. Now he overrated. No, you had him rated a certain level. You overrated him. You didn't just let him stay where he's at and just let it be what it is. You overrated him, and that's not what we're gonna do in here. We're not gonna be overrating these guys, and we're not gonna berate them either. But if you start talking a lot, like Lala D said, you kind of uppity, and you know what I'm saying. If you're gonna be uppity, then please back it up. That's all we're gonna say about it. If you're gonna be uppity, then please back it up. Don't get your own ass backed up. Like, oh shit, he getting backed up. Don't get backed up, or don't get smacked up, and don't get cracked up. But just keep it legit, because we're gonna keep it legit on you. Because this is our job as being new to the media, the new media. Our job is to discuss what happened, and to also recheck your shit that you threw out there. Because if you throw us narratives, if you tell us that you're gonna be a showstopper, and your show that you stopped was not the kind of showstopper that we thought, because we was thinking another way. Oh, this shit gonna be exciting, and then we get it, and it's like, blah blah. What? That was it? That's the greatest thing we're gonna see. Well, shit, I might as well turn the TV off, because if that was the greatest bout, then the rest of it is gonna be garbage. So we're gonna hold you to your standard, and in here, at least I'm not gonna unendorse you. But like I said, I'm not gonna pedestal none of you, because all of you can get it, especially in here. Anybody can get it. Earl Spence, Bud Crawford, Keith Thurman, Deontay Wilder, all y'all can get it. Because I think that we look out for all you fighters. The fighters that we do like, I think we look out for you guys, and I try to give out like good advice. I don't know shit about boxing, but I try to give you guys good advice. And for some reason, even though I don't know, I mean, it seems to pan out. When I say certain shit, it comes to fruition for some reason. Just like if I say, well, Wilder, this is what you need to do, end up doing it, because I'm not nobody. But just listen to my words. Maybe I know a little bit of something. I think I say I don't know nothing, but I've been around a little bit. I just don't like to, I'm just not one of those persons. I don't put myself up on nothing. I just try to give them the information. But if you fight Tyson Fury again, move and throw his ass up. I don't care if you got to throw some wrestling there. Throw his ass up against the rope. Put your elbow into his neck, frustrating him. Get him frustrated. Get him throwing wild punches. That's the best thing I can say about that. Yeah. Lala D say England national dish. She said weird, right? Yep. Most definitely. Anyway, my shout out to all the real people that I see. And my shout out to all y'all that mess with me. Have a safe drive home, dear. Don't hurt nobody when you get where you're going. Peace to Derek Bailey. Peace to everybody. Yeah, this should have been. I was expecting a lot more people to come in here on a Monday though, because D-Lo and them wasn't here, and Yasser and Rourke and Al and them. Yeah, we needed everybody to be here, but they probably gonna be like, oh damn, missed a good show today. But we'll repeat Wednesday. If I do come in tomorrow, it'll be like 4:30. It'll be in between 4 and 4:30 if I come on tomorrow, and it'll be a little bit shorter time. I won't hold y'all too long, nothing like that. We'll just, just probably do some of the stuff that we did today, or something else, whatever. We'll do something, man. I'm gonna catch y'all. Get your ass here on time next time, Derek.